Hey guys, in this React video, I'll be talking about React conditionals. I hope we all know what is conditional, like our if statements, our ternary operators, then our logical operators. Then now I want to show you how to use that in React. So let's first of all go to our home page. Let's import our to-do component. Okay, let's create a property here. So we want to pass our information to this component, this to-do component. So we have to come here and pass our property information we want to pass to our to-do component. So I want to say Monday. I want to set Monday to false. I set this Monday to false, so anywhere this Monday is going to appear false. So let's go to our to do. So yeah, I want to have access to the information we pass to this component by saying props. So I want to assign that information to a constant Monday is equal to the information we pass props dot Monday. And now I want to make an if statement. If this Monday is false, do this, then if it's true, do this. So how can we do that? So let's come here and if, so the condition is going to be here. If Monday come here and return h1, let's return h1. You can name Java script today. Else return on h1. You can't name JavaScript and what I did there is that if Monday is true, return this h1 called you can learn JavaScript today. Then if this Monday is false, it will return you can't learn JavaScript today. So let's go to our browser to check the output. So we have you can't learn JavaScript today. Why? Because this condition is false. We set it to false in our home component. So I set this Monday to false, because then when I set it to false, then this condition says if Monday is true, return an H1 called you can learn JavaScript today. Then if it's false, return you can't learn JavaScript today. Then automatically this Monday I set it to false, so it's gonna return you can learn JavaScript today. And let me go back to my home page and turn this to true. And let's go back to our browser. So automatically it brings you can learn JavaScript today. Because why? Because in here it is true, our statement is true. If Monday is true, return this, then it's return you can learn JavaScript today in our browser. So that is how to use if statement in React. So next I'm going to show how to use our ternary operators in React. So I will show you how to use ternary operators in our React. So let's go to our home page. Let's import our nav. Oh, okay, we have imported it here. So let me pass an information to the navbar component. So by setting a property called logged in. So let's set the login to be true. And let's go back to our navbar. So let's say, do you remember how we do our ternary operator in JavaScript? So now here you are writing our JavaScript code. So let's do this. We curly braces because you are writing a JavaScript code in this template. So let's logged in. So let's set our props. Let's get access to our information we passed to this navbar. So let's say props logged constant log in is equal to props dot logged in. So now we have access to the information we pass to our navbar in this our home component. So let's go back to our navbar. Then now I say if logged in, return logged in, else return logged out. So then the login is true. Let me do it like this. Out in. So I said if the login is true, if you are logged in, it's going to bring log out. So if you are not logged in, it's going to bring logged in. So let's go to our page, to our browser, to check this if it's working. So let's refresh this. So now we are seeing logged out because we are logged in. So let's go back to our code. Let me set this to false. Let me set this logged in to false. We are not logged in. Let me set it to false. So let me go back to my browser and refresh. So when the login is false, that means we are not logged in. So we have to click on this to log us in. So let's go to our navbar. So when it is true now, if login is true, it's going to bring out log out. If login is false, it's going to bring out log in. So now the login is false. That is why you are seeing the login in our navbar. So we have to log in for it to be true. So we can't do that because this is just an example. We are not logging in anything, we are not logging out anything. Just show you how ternary operators works. So this is not a live project. So let me go back to our code. So this is how to use ternary operators in React. And then let me show you how to use logical operator in React. So let's create an array here. So let's say constant days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so let's pass this information, this array, down to this our to do component. So we have to say like this equal to the let's give this days. And let's go to our to-do.js. Let's clean this and let's say const days is equal to props dot days. And let's see let's return so yeah, let's write JavaScript code. So let's say days dot length is greater so let's say a JavaScript, we are writing a JavaScript code, so we need this curly braces. So let's say days dot length is greater than 4 and h1 So let's say you have so now we said if we have if the day.length is greater than 4, so return this, you have enough day to learn. So let's go to our browser and see what the output is. So let's go to our home to check how many we have. We already have 4. So these do not render because we only have 4 days. So we said if the day.length is greater than 4, which is going to be 5 upward, return this. But this doesn't work. This doesn't render because we only have 4 days. We are not having 5. Assuming we are like, let me put 3. So it's rendered this. You have enough day to learn because we have. So because we really have 4 days here. You are not having 5 days. So let me add Friday to it. So if the date.length is greater than 4, return this h1. So it's greater than 4, so it's return you have enough day to learn. So let me go back to our home page. Let me clean this. So we only have 2 days. So if the date.length is less than 4, return you don't have enough day to learn. So let's go back to our browser. We don't have enough day to learn because the day is less than 4. So let's go to our home to check that. Look at, we only have 2 days. So in here it says it's less than 4, so we don't have enough day to learn. So this is how condition works in React. Hey guys, in this video I'll be talking about use effects. So the use effect hooks allow you to perform side effects in your component. Some example of side effects are fetching data, directly updating the DOM, and the timers. Now I want to use timeout to count 1 second after initial renders. So let's create timer components in this our source folder. So I'm going to name it timer.js. So let's set up our function fsc. So let's name it timer. So what I want to do here is to create a useState. So to create that, let's first import it here. Import useState from React. So now let's set const count, set count, our useState, zero. So now let's make use of our use effect. So to do that, let's first import our use effect from React. So we can do it in here by saying use effect. So we can do it along with this useState, so it doesn't have a problem. So let's make use of our use effect here. So by saying use effect, so what I want to do here is that I want to use this set timeout to count 1 second after initial renders. So here I create a constant variable. So I create a count variable. So then I use a useState functions here. So then I set the count to 0. Then I came here to use our use effect function. Then I create a set timeout. Then I set the count. I set this count to that anytime this page renders, so it's going to count +1. So every 1 second the page is going to render. So when it's rendered, it's going to count +1. Then if it's render again, it's going to count +2. It will render again +3, and so on. So then I came here to create an h1 that okay, I have rendered this page the count times. So anytime this thing have count is going to show in this our h1. So let's go to our browser and check that. No, okay, we haven't imported it in our home component, so let's do that. let's go to our browser. Oh, we're having some issues. So I'm sorry, here it's going to be timeout, not timer. Okay, so let's go back to our browser. Let's check our browser. So let me refresh. So now it's working. So let me go back to the code and show you what is happening here. So I set a timer. After 1 second, this will re-render. So when it re-render, I set the set count that anytime it re-render, just add +1. So then that is why this is counting. That is why this is counting. Then the page will render 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is what is happening there. And let me show you a use effect tools that is dependent on a variable. If the count variable updates, the effect will run again. So let me show you how to do that. So let's create another useState called calculation. Let's set the state to 0. So this is going to be in the capital letter. And let's make use of a new use effect. Count. So let's create a button to set the count. So what I do here is that if this count variable gets updated by clicking this button, this effect here will run again. So it will be times this count here times 2. So when I click on the button again, then the count will get updated. So this count again will count times 2. So this anytime there is some changes in this count, so this use effect will run again. So let's go to our browser, check that. So let me name this button. So let me refresh. So when I click on button, so let me put this add. So let's go back to our code. So anytime I click on this add, so this change, so this use effect run again. So let me add again, this change and this use effect run again. So let me add another. So that is how it goes. So let me go to our code and explain it again. So what I did here is that anytime I set a variable count, I set it to 0. So I came here to this button and set the count, that anytime I click on this button, the count is going to +1. So then I came here, I put variable here. So I said anytime this variable gets updated, this use effect should run again. So that's what is happening here. Anytime I click on this reruns again. Anytime I see it reruns, then this one add +1, so 1734. So let's go back to code. And then we can clean up the timer. We can clean up the yes, and then we can clean up the timer by saying, let's set this to a variable. Let timer equal to set timer. Then let's come to this place. Let's return an arrow function. See, clear timeout timer. And let's come here and add an empty array. So every time this runs 1 second, it will clear the timer. So let's go to our browser. So anytime you run 1 second, it clear away the timeout. So let me refresh it 1. So let me go back to the code and let me set this to 5 seconds. So every time it load after 5 seconds, it will clear the timer. So let's go back to our browser. Okay, so after 5 seconds, yeah, it's clear away the timer.